Okay. So the next topic we will be dealing with is the MOSFET capacitances. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So in the previous class, we have gone through the short channel devices. Okay. So what are the effect of short channel devices? We have seen short channel devices, or based on that, we have studied short channel effects in these short channel devices. We have also seen the narrow channel devices. So there was some difference, like what are short channel devices and what are narrow channel devices. So this difference is because of the length. Whatever the length is there, if length is comparable with the depletion depth, or width is comparable with respect to depletion depth, we can write it either xd. So if length of the transistor is having a similar magnitude with respect to transition depth, depletion region depth, then that will be considered as short channel devices. And if similarly the width is of having similar magnitude, it will be called narrow channel devices. Okay. So similarly, we will go further with the MOSFET capacitances. So what happens? A MOSFET is there, then there are some parasitic capacitances. So what we call it? We call it parasitic capacitances. Okay. So these parasitic capacitances are the capacitances generated inside the MOSFET device by their own structures and by their own layers. What are the different layers we have used for designing the MOSFET? There are some MOSFET capacitances that are called parasitic capacitances, and we will discuss one by one. So up to previously, we have analyzed the MOSFET working in cutoff, linear, and saturation regions. So that analysis we have done like DC analysis. We are going to consider capacitance for analysis of a MOSFET device operation. Then that analysis will be called dynamic analysis, or we call it dynamic or transient analysis. Okay. So this is transient. If it is DC analysis, this behavior will not be including the capacitance, and it is called static analysis. Okay. So for dynamic analysis or transient analysis, we need to have different capacitances of the MOSFET, and that should be incorporated for analysis. So we have to have an overview of what are the different MOSFET capacitances are. So this is the top view of a MOS device structure. So this is the gate region, okay, and this is your drain, and this is source. So up to here, this is your this region, source region, this one. Okay, so this region will be seen from the top, will be like that, and this region is called overlap region. So it will be overlapping between source and the gate. So this overlapping width will be LD. Okay, so LD will be representing the overlap length. Okay, so this is your overlap length. Similarly, on the drain side, it will be LD again. This will be the overlap region, and this will be showing you the drain region and plus region of the drain side. Along with that, we use some channel stop implant. So this highly doped p-type region is called channel stop implant. So it will be on the both side, in the source side also, at the drain side also. So what is the purpose of this channel stop implant? So what happens on a same substrate? Suppose another, this is the this much is the length of the substrate. We again implant other MOSFET close to this. So other MOSFET will be implanted similar to this way. Okay, so like that it will be implanted. Okay, so other MOSFET will be there. So to have a separation between this MOSFET and this MOSFET, we must have this channel stop implant. So this channel stop implant basically isolates one MOSFET with the other MOSFET while fabricating it on a single substrate. It will basically avoid the interference between one MOSFET to another, and it will also avoid the channel. Like if the channel is formed here, it may be like once this channel is inverted, if this implant region will not be there, then this channel can be spread out to other MOSFETs also that is nearby placed to this transistor. So this implant region, channel stop implant, will provide a separation, and also for it is also used for your reducing DIBL. So DIBL is drain induced barrier lowering. This is a type of this is basically the process phenomena in which when we increase the drain voltage, there will be a reduction in the barrier voltage across the gate and or across the outside, and at that time there will be leakage current flowing. So based on that, to reduce the DIBL also we use this channel stop implant region. Okay. So this is the basic idea, like how P plus region is implanted and what are the advantages. So we basically going for analysis of MOSFET capacitances. So the effective length, total channel length is L. Okay. So suppose total channel length is your LM. Okay. So this is the total length. If we find out the effective channel length, this L will be LM minus 2 times LD. Okay, so it will be LM minus 2 times LD. So this will be the effective channel region length. Okay, so up to this point, up to this and this. Okay, and this one is already LD, that is overlap region. Okay, this is the overlap region. This one. This is the top view. This is the front view, side view. Okay, so L will the actual channel length. LM will be the mask length of the gate. So this is the mask length of the gate. So this is the gate length. You can mention it like this is mask length of the gate region. Okay, and LD is the gate drain or gate source overlap region. So with respect to gate and drain, there will be an overlap that will be represented by LD, and the overlap between gate and source will be represented by L and LD. So these are the points that we need to keep in mind for further analysis, because these points will be used later on. Next is the lumped representation of parasitic capacitances. So what happens if capacitance we need to find out? So this is the drain region and this is the gate region. So suppose in this way, this is the gate region and this is the drain region. So in between drain and gate, sorry, gate and drain, there will be a capacitance formed because of this region also, and because of this channel region also. So capacitance is basically two conducting plates will be there in between these plates, and oxide will be there, or any insulator will be there. Okay, if this is the structure, then this structure will be working as a capacitance. Whenever this type of structure will be there, so one conducting plate is here and another conducting plate will be there, and in between that some oxide or some type of insulator is there. It could be air also. So if it is this type of arrangements are found in the MOSFET. Whenever this type of an arrangement will be found, that will be considered as having a capacitance value. So there are different regions like in between this. So this region is also having some capacitance, this region will also be generating some capacitance. Okay, so all the capacitances, after combining all the capacitances, we collectively call these capacitances as a single capacitance, that is called lumped capacitance. So like these are distributed to from here to up to this region. Okay, so it is distributed all over the surface, but once we combine all and we call it as a lumped capacitance, and that will be an approximate and estimation of the total capacitance. So in between gate and drain, in between gate and substrate, gate and source, there will be different capacitances, but we just approximate these capacitances to a single capacitance named as, like if it is gate to drain, so we will name it gate and drain capacitance. So this is CGD will be named as gate to drain capacitance, will be considered as a single capacitance, that will be a lumped capacitance, combination of all the distributed capacitances. Okay, similarly gate to drain is there, gate to source is there. So gate to source will be some capacitance. After combining all the parasitic capacitances, we combinedly call it gate to source, that is CGS. So CGS will be named to that capacitance. It will be a lumped value, means combined value. In easy way you can understand, like it will be an okay. So similarly, there are 5 types of capacitances that can be lumped up and can be considered for analysis. So we will see one by one. So basically, these capacitances are gate to drain is there, so CGD will be named. Gate to body, so this is gate terminal. Okay, so this is gate terminal and this is body terminal. So in between that, this is an oxide and this is a conducting plate, and this is also a conducting plate, gate is there. So it will be having a gate to body capacitance also. So it is represented by gate to body. There is no connection, only the connection is at this point. Okay, so this point is connected, this point is connected, and this is connected. Okay, so there is no connection, this is directly connected to gate to body. So between gate to body there will be a capacitance called CGB. Okay, similarly source and body. So this source and body, this is the body region and this is the source region. In between that a capacitance will be generated, so that will be given by source to body, that is CSB. Similarly, drain to body a capacitance is given, it will be named as CDB. Okay, so there are 5 basic capacitances that we will analyze it. Okay, and basically the capacitances that are found inside the MOS structure are divided into 2 types. Okay, so the first one is called oxide capacitance, another one is called junction capacitance. Okay, so 2 types of capacitance are there, oxide capacitance and junction capacitance. So we will see one by one, like what are oxide capacitance and what are junction capacitance. So in oxide related capacitance, that are called oxide capacitance, these oxide capacitances are divided into two types we can make it. So one is that is voltage independent. These are voltage independent. Okay, so these capacitances are voltage independent. So these are called overlap capacitance, gate electrode overlap capacitances. Okay, so what happens between gate and overlap region? So there are two overlap regions. This is the gate to source overlap, and this is gate to drain overlap. Okay, so this is gate to drain and this is gate to source. So this overlap region is LD. LD was there, so LD will be here also. Okay, so this LD region will be generating some capacitance. So the gate to drain, so overlap because of gate to drain will be given by gate CGD overlap, and similarly CGS overlap, and this will be equals to COX W into LD. So COX that we already know, that is oxide capacitance. So oxide capacitance is given by the unit, its unit is like uh, this is called capacitance per unit area. So this COX is defined as the capacitance per unit area. Okay, so once it is defined as capacitance per unit area, so in COX, if we are multiplying the area of the overlap region, so because this is the front view, like side view, you can take it out. Just see here. So this is the width of your channel. Okay, so this is the top view. This will be the width, and this will be the length of your overlap region. So the area of this overlap region will be given by LD multiplied by this width. Okay, are you getting this? So this will be the W, and this will be the length. So its area, the area of that overlap region will be given by LD into W. So the overlap capacitance will be given by COX, that is the oxide capacitance, for oxide capacitance multiplied by the area of the overlap region. Okay, so COX W into LD will be considered as the CGD of, that is because of overlap, and similarly the CGS will also be given by COX W into LD. Okay, and from this equation, equation we can find out like the CGD and CGS, that is because of overlap region, will not be having any dependence on a voltage. It is like a voltage independent capacitances. So we can note it like the overlap capacitances are basically voltage independent capacitances. Okay, both capacitances do not depend on the bias condition, they are in voltage independent. Okay, so this will not be dependent on any biasing condition, either VGS or VDS. Okay, the next capacitance that we should be considering is the capacitance that result from the interaction between gate voltage and the channel charge. So in the oxide related capacitance, the first capacitance was because of the gate electrode overlap. The second type of capacitance is capacitance because that is formed because of gate voltage and the channel charge. Okay, so whenever we are applying some gate voltage, the channel initially was like this. The channel should be initially, it will be like this, but as we are increasing the gate voltage and also we are applying the drain voltage, the channel will become tapered, and after some time, if it is working in saturation region and going beyond the VDS set, it will become like this. Okay, so in all these three cases, we will be basically having different type of capacitance. So this type of capacitance, that is because of interaction between gate voltage and channel charge, will be depending on the mode of operation the MOSFET is performing. Okay, so this is the condition when MOSFET is operating in cutoff region. So this is the cutoff region condition. So this is like the A figure is for cutoff region. If the MOSFET is working in cutoff region, so that is gate voltage, the gate voltage is less than Vt. If gate voltage is less than Vt, that means there is no channel. That means यहाँ पे कोई चैनल ही नहीं है. ठीक है, जब यहाँ पे कोई चैनल नहीं है, so if there is no channel, then gate to source, so CGS and CGD capacitance will be 0. Okay, so if there is no channel, so in the previous one we have seen like if the gate to drain capacitance is there, one is because of the overlapping and one is because of this channel region. So because of this channel region and this drain region, there will be a capacitance. But in case of cutoff mode of operation of MOSFET, there will be no channel. If there is no channel, then there will be no gate to drain capacitance. Similarly, if there is no channel in the source side, then there will be no capacitance between gate to source side. So CGS and CGD will be equals to 0. ये clear है? Okay. So next है CGB, that is gate to body. So gate to body capacitance at the cutoff time when the MOSFET is working in cutoff region. So what will be there? So this complete region, the channel region, that is as there is no channel, then also this will be exhibiting a capacitance capacitive property. So only this region, that is having a length this much and width, that is given by the same width, this width. So this is the channel region. So up to here the channel region will be there, and up to this point channel length will be there. Okay, and this will be indicating the channel width. So the total channel region will be having a area of W into L. So CGB, the gate to body capacitance, will be equals to COX into WL. Okay, the oxide capacitance multiplied by the channel area. As there is no charge in between this, that's why it will be having COX W into L also. Okay, so this there will be always a capacitance of COX W by L. So similarly we will see in case of linear region. Okay, now this was for the cutoff region of operation of MOSFET. Similarly, if the MOSFET is operating in linear region, so what happens in the linear region, there will be no pinch off point. So before pinch off point, if the channel is tapered also, but it is not reaching to pinch off point, it will be considered as a linear operation. So in linear operation, we can see like the channel is tapered and it is having more length on the source side and less length on the drain side. Then also what we do is we equally divide the channel into two halves. Okay, so we will be dividing the channel into two halves. So this is having a length of L, so half will be considered, because we are these capacitances are basically just an approximation. Okay, so we are just estimating the capacitance of the MOSFET. So this MOSFET capacitance will be, so this MOSFET capacitances in the linear region will be because of the half on the source side and half will be considered on the drain side. So because this is an approximation, so we are just approximating it like it will be divided on the equally on the both side. Okay, the channel region is divided equally on the both side, so we will be considering this case. So at that time, if half channel is for source side, half channel is for drain side, then CGS and CGD will be equal, and that will be half of COX W by L, sorry, W into L. So whatever oxide capacitance is there, that will be divided into two halves. So half 1 by 2 L into width will be the area on the source side, half L into width, that is W, into COX, that will be the area on the drain side, that will be capacitance. Okay, so the area on the drain side and the source side we can calculate. This is in the case of linear region. If the transistor is working in linear region, then this will be the case. The channel will be divided half to source and drain. But at that time CGB, that is gate to body. So because of this channel presence, there will be no gate to body capacitance. So at that time gate to body capacitance will be equals to 0. Okay, ये clear है? So as there is a channel formed, so this gate to body capacitance will not be there. It will be gate to channel capacitance will be there, because this is the conducting region made by, after the oxide. So after the oxide, this is the conducting region, that is the channel region. So gate to channel capacitance will be given. So this gate to channel capacitance is further divided into two types, like source and drain. So gate to source and gate to drain capacitances will be given, and gate to body capacitance will not be there. Okay, because of this channel generation, because of this channel formation. Similarly, in case of saturation, so what happens in saturation? After pinch off point, if VDS is further increased, the channel will be more depleted on the drain side. So if there is a depletion on the drain side, then we call it like there will be no channel. So L will be 0 on the drain side. So when L will be 0, the CGD will be 0, and CGB is already 0 because of the channel formation. So CGB will not be will not be there, any value will not be there. So CGB will be 0 and CGD will be 0, and the total capacitance will be because of the CGS. So gate to source terminal will be having the capacitance, and it is estimated like the channel is depleted, and this channel is depleted such that 2/3 of the channel region is towards the, so like we call it 2/3 of the channel region is along the source side. So we will take it like 2 by 3 L will be considered as the length of the total channel. Out of the total L length, 2/3 length of the channel is being covered by the source side, and this will be constituting the capacitance. So this capacitance will be given by gate to source capacitance. So this time source to gate capacitance, gate to source capacitance will be 2 by 3 times COX W by W into L. ठीक है, so ये clear है. So these are called the oxide related capacitances. So oxide related capacitances mean all the capacitances will be having some role of this oxide. So this oxide will be playing the role for estimating the capacitances of these oxide related capacitances. Okay, so these so one thing we can note it like, so these CGS, CGD and CGB, these are the voltage dependent capacitances. So these oxide related capacitances are called voltage dependent capacitances. Okay, and why? Because why these are voltage dependent? Because voltage is basically causing the channel formation and channel depletion, and it is also causing that there is no channel also. So in the cutoff region, it will not be there, there will be no channel region. So because of the voltage, applied voltage, the channel region is either being formed or there will be no channel, and also there will be some channel but it will be depleted. So that's why channel will be deciding the capacitance, the parasitic capacitance. So it is called voltage dependent capacitances basically. So CGB, CGS and CGD all are called voltage dependent capacitances, and the sum of all the voltage dependent, that is called distributed gate oxide capacitance with this, and a minimum value of 0.66 COX double by L in the saturation. So the same that we have depicted, the similar estimation is there. So in case of saturation, the minimum value will be this one, okay, and the maximum value of COX WL will be there in case of the cutoff and the linear. So it is like, from there we can see. So this is the maximum capacitance after adding all the three capacitances. The maximum capacitance will be here in the cutoff mode is COX WL. Similarly, in the case of linear one, after adding all the three capacitances, we will be getting COX WL after adding is this. But in saturation mode, after adding all the three capacitances, the maximum capacitance will be 2 by 3 COX. So this is 2 by 3 COX, that is minimum capacitance. So the capacitance can be greater also, but minimum will be considering as 2 by 3 COX WL. Okay. This is like how we can plot different capacitances over the gate to source voltage. So once we are plotting the gate to source voltage with respect to normalized capacitance. Okay. So normalized capacitance means whatever capacitance is given, we are dividing it by COX WL. So once we are dividing it by W capacitance by COX WL, so there will be a capacitance that is called normalized capacitance. So in the cutoff region, because the maximum capacitance we are getting is COX WL, and once we will divide COX WL by COX WL, it will be maximum value of 1. So 1 will be there. Okay. But in case of saturation, so in case of saturation, this is the capacitance, different capacitances. So this capacitance will be basically because of CGB. Okay. But in case of saturation and linear, this CGB will be 0 always. So this CGB will remain 0 throughout the analysis. So in the saturation, the only capacitance will be because of the CGS, and that will be 2 by 3 times. Okay. So 2 by 3 times COX W by L. Once we will divide it by COX W by L, it will be only 2 by 3. So 2 by 3 will be the capacitance in saturation region, and that will be because of CGS. So that will be because of CGS. And similarly, once we are further increasing the gate to source voltage, it will be operating in linear mode, and at that time in linear mode, the capacitance will be because of the both 0.5 times CGS and 0.5 times CGD. So CGS and CGD both will be at half point, and all adding these two will be a maximum of 1. Okay. So this is the analysis of different capacitances, oxide capacitances, with respect to gate to source voltage. Okay. So next we will see what is junction capacitance. Okay. So we will see this figure. Okay. So this is the N plus diffusion region. Either it is drain side or source side. We will see the similar structure. This similar analysis will be for both the side. So this is the side of the three-dimensional structure. So it is having how many faces? On which faces there will be some dependence or some capacitance that can be generated. So we will call it like this is the phase 1, okay, and this is the phase 2, okay, this is the phase 3, and this is phase 4, and the bottom phase, okay, the bottom phase is phase 5. Okay. At the top there will be no other connections will be there, or no other layer will be there. So at the top phase there will be no capacitance. So the if this is the three-dimensional box, the drain side, similar structure will be on the source side also. So if this is the structure, out of 6 faces, okay, so out of 6 faces, it will be having capacitance value on the 5 faces. At the top there is no extra layer, though there is no other layer that is connected to the top layer, so top phase. So that will not be generating any capacitance, but all the faces, all the remaining faces will be having its capacitance contribution. Okay, so we will analyze it, like how it is basically works. So in the depletion region, thickness is given by this one. So we already know the formula. So this will be the applied voltage, how we are applying the voltage. Based on that, it will be, this is the built-in potential. Okay, this is the applied voltage, either positive or reverse negative direction. If it is in the negative direction, it will be plus added by, and the depletion width will be increasing. And if the applied voltage is positive, this value will be decreases, and overall the depletion region thickness will be decreasing. And built-in potential is given by this formula. So what we do is, to analyze the capacitance, we need to find out the charge. So in each region we will be finding out the charge. Once we have finded out the charge, so capacitance will be given by charge divided by area. Okay, sorry, not area, is charge divided by the voltage. So C into V is given by the charge, that is charge formula. So if we need to find out the capacitance, so capacitance will be total charge, okay, for that particular area, whatever the area is there, total charge divided by the voltage, that will be giving you the capacitance, or we call it a junction capacitance. So why it is called junction capacitance? Because at each interfaces, or each surfaces, there will be a junction with other components. So at that junction point, or there will be a junction between two other layers. So these junction will be generating a junction capacitance. So that junction capacitance will be given by total charge divided by the voltage. So this is the total charge that we can find out. Okay, so this charge will be given by A into Q, total concentration, into the depletion width. So whatever depletion width is here there, that will be um, um, given by the total charge Q into area, whatever area is there in that particular area, what is the total charge is there, we will be finding out, and based on that we will find the capacitance. Okay, so this is the formula. So once we will find out, or you can say integrate this value, so finally we will get a formula of Cj, that is junction capacitance, with which will be the dependent on voltage, is equals to A Cj0 divided by 1 minus V by phi naught to the power m. Okay, so here m is the grading coefficient. So what type of grading is there inside that material, that will be defining the power. So there are different step graded or other type of grading is there for the material, that will be defining. So here we can find it like Cj, that is junction capacitance, is basically having a relation of area into Cj0. Cj0 is basically the junction capacitance for zero applied voltage. If there is no voltage applied, then that will be the Cj0. So this will be the total formula that we need to consider for finding out the junction capacitance. So Cj0 is zero bias junction capacitance. That means when there is no biasing, at that time, this is uh, the junction capacitance per unit area. Okay, so at that time we will be reducing this V equals to 0. So V equals to 0, then total C will be, Cj will be, this will be 0, then this total will be the same formula. Okay, so this same formula will be appearing here. So the total equivalent large signal capacitance that can be defined is L equivalent. We will integrate it, and finally we will get the value. And for the specific, this is generally the derivation of this formula. So whatever formula we have got, so this is just its a derivation, like how we are going to find out. So we will see later. Okay, so this is equivalent capacitance that it has calculated. So based on whatever value is there, after if V is, suppose V is changing from some value 0 to 5 volt. So for this 0 to 5 volt, it has integrated this function, this equation, and after getting this integrating this equation, we have finally calculated the C equivalent. Okay, and C equivalent will be given by A area is there, and Cj is there, and then all other parameters will be given by K equivalent. Okay, so this is just the integration of this formula. Okay, so Cj0 is given, and Cj for a particular voltage will be given by this, and all other values are given. And also just see that what are the junctions. So these are the different areas, types and area of PN junctions as shown in figure. So there will be different junctions because of this junction capacitances are because of the junction. So first phase is there, so it will be having, so basically why we are considering the phases, because we have a term of area. Okay, so this area will be for calculated for each face of the side. Okay, so each face area will be find it out, so we will find that area. So because of the junction capacitances, so junction capacitances is formed into the PN junction, so this PN region will be forming. So at that junction we need to find out the area. So suppose the first face is there and it is having this width is W and this is the height. So this height is basically xj, that is junction depth. So xj will be there, so xj into W will be the area of this region. Similarly for the second region, the this is the y. Okay, so this width is y, and then again this is having a junction depth of xj. Okay, so xj will be multiplied to get the area. So similarly the third phase will be xj into width, and similarly the fourth one. Okay, so similarly we need to find out the area of each phase, and finally the bottom one will be having y into the W. So y into W will be there. So this will be and the type of layer is it is. So the bottom one is connected to this region will be n plus. So this will be n plus region, and this bulk side will be a p substrate region. So n plus plus p region. Okay, so this is like how interfacing it is done, how the interfaces are defined. So based on that, that area will be calculated, and finally we will be finding out the equivalent capacitance. So we will see an example like how we can go with the calculation. Okay. So an example is given, an abrupt PN junction is given. So based on the based on the junction, either it is abrupt or diffused, there are different type of junction. So based on that, M value will be changing. Okay, so that value we will see later that in the example also, that how M is defined. So in the question, a simple abrupt PN junction which is reversed by with the voltage V bias, doping density of the N type region is Nd is given, and also the doping density of P type region is given, Na and Nd is given. The junction area, so that this junction area is given 20 micrometer into 20 micrometers. Okay, so this junction area is given, so we need to find out the capacitance, this junction capacitance we need to find out, and some biasing is being done. So first of all we need to find out the built-in potential. So this built-in potential will be Kt by Q ln Na Nd divided by Ni square. So all the values are given. These are the known parameters. Kt by Q 26 millivolt or 0.2026 volt is considered. Okay, ln, and then Na Nd value, and Ni square is already know. So this is a Ni is a constant value 2.1 into 10 power minus 10 power 20. So after getting this value, this will be used for finding out the Cj0. So after finding out the built-in potential, okay, so similarly in this formula we basically need is area Cj0. So from there we need to find out area and Cj0. So these two are the parameters. So to find out Cj0 we need to have built-in potential. Okay, so this is when there is no applied voltage. So if there is no applied voltage, then we will be finding the junction capacitance, that will be Cj0. So after putting all the values, we will be finding out this value. The next we will find the equivalent large signal junction capacitance assuming that the reverse bias voltage charge from V1 equals to 0 to V2 equals to minus 5 volt. So here we are considering like we have applied voltage reverse bias voltage of 0 to minus 5 volt, because it is reverse bias, so it will be from 0 to minus volt. So if it is reverse bias, then this phi naught minus, we need to do is phi naught minus minus, it will be plus, so it will be finally at the end it will be plus. So because if it is reverse bias, the junction width will be increasing, so junction capacitance will also be increasing. So from there we can find out the equivalent voltage that will be uh, requiring, or that will be generated, like this value we can find out. So to find out the equivalent capacitance, we need to have area and we need to have Cj0. So Cj0 we have calculated, area it is given, because area is given already in the question. So we need to find out K equivalent. So K equivalent formula will be this one. Okay, so this is the formula. We need to put it in this formula. We need to find out the value that is being applied at the biasing, which two voltages, like from what range it is being changed, and phi naught is the built-in potential. From there we can find out K equivalent. So we will find out the K equivalent by putting, so we have just assumed here, we have assumed the voltage. If there is no voltage range is given in the question, क्योंकि क्वेश्चन में कोई वोल्टेज रेंज नहीं दिया गया है, तो हम उसमें एज्यूम कर सकते हैं. ओके, सो एज्यूम करके हम उसको वैल्यू पुट करेंगे और वी कैन फाइंड आउट द के इक्विवेलेंट. So once we know the K equivalent, Cj0 and area we already have, so we can get the C equivalent. So C equivalent will be having 69 femtofarad. Okay, so this is how we can proceed with the example. Okay, and simultaneously we will see the side wall capacitances. So in the figure, this one, we have seen different phases are there. So by combining the capacitance, junction capacitance of each phase, after combining all the capacitances, we can get the final equivalent capacitance. So these type of capacitances are the side wall capacitances. The side walls of a typical MOSFET source or drain diffusion region are surrounded by P plus region, that is channel stop implant, with a higher doping density than the substrate doping density of Na. So assume the side wall doping density is given by Na side wall. So side wall की जो doping है उसको हमने consider कर लिया Na side wall. Then the zero bias capacitance per unit area will be given by Cj0 side wall. Okay, side wall will be equals to the same doping is given for the side wall. Then finally the built-in potential for the side wall. Then side wall junction capacitance will be given by side wall junction capacitance will be side wall junction zero biasing capacitance into the xj. So what happens, we are basically finding out, so side wall capacitance, this will be because of the xj. That means is at this point, instead of that area part, we will be just multiplying it though to the, because this is per unit area. Okay, so this zero bias capacitance will be per unit area, and this, that will be multiplied by the junction depth, whatever junction depth will be there. So this will be the capacitance because of the side walls. Okay, so equivalent voltage. Okay, the side wall voltage equivalent factor, that was in the previous question, the formula. All over we will be changing it by the built-in potential of the side walls, and the equivalent large signal junction capacitance of the side walls will be given by P into side wall capacitance into the K equivalent, and here P is the perimeter. So just see some something like we have, yes, yes, किसी को कोई डाउट है क्या? Yes. Okay, so basically that was the calculation. So this calculation is for the area. Okay, so for the area one, but for the side walls the calculation will be different. So the only difference will be like CJSW will be given by the XJ multiplied by CJ0SW side walls, and this will be multiplied further to get the equivalent side wall capacitance will be the perimeter, that is we call it perimeter, side wall length will be multiplied by this because XJ is already given, so we will be multiplying perimeter to find out the area. So overall this side wall equivalent capacitance will be calculated. So in case of in case of N side, sorry, the drain side and source side, we will be calculating because of the area side and also because of the side walls. So in the calculation, so this will be the area one. Okay, so this will be the area one on the junction side, channel region. Similarly, other side walls will be generating the same capacitance. So that will be compared separately and find out separately and added to find out the overall capacitance. Okay, so this is an example like how we can find out the junction capacitance, and that junction capacitance will be having both side wall capacitance and also the main area capacitance. So we will find out one by one. So these are the different parameters it is given. So this length and width is given in the drain side. Similarly, it will be on the source side also, and channel length is already given. Okay, so from there we can find out. So what are the different parameters? We see that NA and ND is given, NA side wall. So whatever side walls are there, these are the side walls of the drain and source region. So these side walls are having a doping of NaP, NaSW, that is side wall. It is a P plus doping. This P plus doping is because of the what we call channel stop implant. So we can see, okay, in this point. So this is the our N region, that drain or source region. Along with this is the region of P plus doping. Okay, so this P plus doping was channel stop implant. So it is talking about this side wall doping. So at that side wall also there will be a junction capacitance. So that will be because of the side wall capacitance, side wall capacitance, and that will be consisting of the P plus region. Okay, whatever P plus region is there in, alongside the channel, this drain and source region. So from there, note that both the source and drain diffusion regions are surrounded by P plus channel stop diffusion. The substrate is biased at 0. So in this part, we are considering just like the substrate is biased at a 0 volt. Okay, assuming that the drain voltage is changing from, so we are, if there is no change in drain voltage is given, so we can assume any value like it is changing from 0.5 to 5 volt, and find the average drain substrate junction capacitance. So we need to find out the average drain to substrate. So whatever drain is there, drain to substrate junction capacitance we need to find out. So first we recognize that the three side walls of the rectangular drain diffusion structure form N plus and P plus. So this is N plus region. So this will be a P plus region. Okay, because of the channel stop region, channel stop implant that we call it. So three side walls will be there. Okay, junction with P plus channel stop implant, while the bottom area and the side wall facing the channel form N plus and P junction. So this is N plus region and this is the P region. Okay, so this is the P region, and the bottom side of this N plus region, that is the fifth phase, will also be having a P region, that is because of the P substrate. Okay, so this is saying like we have three side walls and one N plus P region and N plus P region on the channel side. Okay, so this is the it is saying. So start by calculating the built-in potential for both type of junctions. So for these type of junctions, we need to find out the built-in potential. So phi naught we will be finding out. So this phi naught will be given by this one. So Na and D and I we already have the value. Similarly, we will find the built-in potential for the side walls. So because of this side walls, it is having an other doping, because P plus is having a separate doping. So we will be finding out the built-in potential for the side walls also. So once we have find out the built-in potential, we will find out Cj0 for the N plus and P region, and similarly we will find out Cj0, that is for side walls, that is having P plus and N plus region junction. Okay, so these values will be find it out. That value we have already find it out. Based on that, we can find these values. So the zero bias side wall junction capacitance per unit length can also be found as, so once this is per unit length, so side wall capacitance, overall side wall capacitance will be given by CJSW into XJ. So this XJ is basically because of the width of the depletion, this drain or the source side. So because of the whatever width of that side walls are there, we will be finding out the zero bias side wall capacitance per unit length. Okay, so per unit length it will be multiplying by the length, we will multiply it. Okay, so we will be getting this value. Okay, so it will be multiplied by this, it is equals to, okay, this equals to this, so this value will be multiplied by xj. Xj is given in the question already. Okay, 10 power minus 4. So this much will be the capacitance per unit centimeter. So this is capacitance per unit length. Okay, in order to make the in order to take the given drain voltage variation into account, we must now calculate the voltage equivalent factor. So K equivalent will be calculated for side walls and also for the main junction sides. Okay, so both K equivalents will be calculated. So K equivalent will be for two different voltages. So we have considered like VD is varying from minus 0.5 to 5 volt. So based on that, we will find out the K equivalent. So this will be this for the main junction and this is for side wall junction. Okay, side wall junctions. So total area of the P plus and N junction, that is the two junction, because of there are basically two type of junction. One is because of the side walls, one is on the this side, the same type of on the this side. So these two junctions area will be added. Okay, we will be summing out the area of these two junctions. Okay, the bottom and the side wall facing channel region, and after adding area, we will get this much of area. So this much of the area is for the N plus and P junction type junctions. So the final capacitance, that overall capacitance we will be getting, is because of the side wall and because of the N plus and P plus channel regions. So this will be the area multiplied by the Cj0 that we have already calculated, and the K equivalent that is given by this one. Okay, so this area will be this area because of the two faces that is having P plus and N region. Okay, so similarly this capacitance is capacitance per unit length. So this is capacitance per unit length. So a length will be multiplied, that will be the perimeter of the surface, the perimeter of the face. Okay, the side walls. So there are basically okay, there are these two sides are having the same perimeter. This will be having the different perimeter. All the perimeters will be added, and that will be multiplied by the CJ SW and K equivalent SW. Okay, and all will be added together, and finally we will be getting that much of capacitance. Okay, so this is the capacitance for the one side of the junction capacitances. So whatever junction capacitances are there, we can find out for one side. Okay, this is CDB. तो क्या ये कुछ समझ में आया, ऐसा कुछ क्या था? कोई नहीं, आप इसको एक बार फिर से देखना, मैं आपको फिर से दे दूंगा इसका रिकॉर्डिंग, ठीक है? आप उसको देखो और कोई डाउट हो आप पूछ सकते हो. So up to here the junction capacitances and oxide capacitances we have gone through. किसी को कोई डाउट है? Yes, किसी को कोई डाउट है?
No sir.
Okay, then we will stop for today's presentation. और नेक्स्ट क्लास में जो है हम अभी दो टॉपिक और बचे हुए हैं, और मोस्ट प्रोबेबली आपका जो है मंडे को क्विज़ होना है, ठीक है? तो आप ये ध्यान दीजिएगा कि मंडे को आपको क्विज़ होना है, तो उसके अकॉर्डिंग फर्स्ट यूनिट की प्रिपरेशन आपको करनी है. मैं स्लाइड्स वगैरह आपको सेंड कर देता हूँ, और जो जितने वीडियोज़ हैं, मैंने जितने भी क्लास लिए हैं सबका मैंने रिकॉर्ड किया हुआ है वीडियो, उसको मैं यूट्यूब पे डालूंगा और आपको लिंक दे दूंगा, आप उसको देखिएगा, ठीक है। और किसी को कुछ क्वेरी है, कुछ डाउट्स है, आप पूछ सकते हो इन बिटवीन, ठीक। ओके फिर, ओके, थैंक यू।
थैंक यू सर।